All right, let's jump right in. We all have just mountains of internal documentation, right? Wikis, shared drives, notebooks, it's everywhere. But what if I told you that all that stuff, with just a little bit of rethinking, could become the most powerful AI tool your company has? That's what we're going to talk about today, how to architect your docs for AI. And really, this is the question we have to start with. As we start plugging in these amazing AI tools into our workflows, a lot of us are finding out the hard way that our docs aren't just unhelpful. They might actually be making the AI dumber. They're actively confusing the very systems we're counting on to help us out.
You know, let's be real for a second. This slide probably hits a little too close to home for a lot of you. Most company wikis are basically a digital attic. They're just stuffed with old project notes, procedures nobody's used in 5 years, and some absolutely brilliant ideas that are buried so deep they'll never be found again. It's a black hole where good knowledge goes to die. Forget an AI finding it, a human can't even find it.
Okay, now let's flip this around. Imagine you hire a new trainee, and this trainee is a genius. They can read every single document your company has ever produced in seconds. Pretty amazing, right? But here's the catch. This trainee is super literal. They have zero context about the company's history. They can't guess what Project Falcon was about. Well, that's your AI. It's incredibly powerful, but it needs clear, structured guidance to actually be useful. So how do we give it that guidance? It all starts with a pretty big shift in how we think about our documentation. We need what I call an AI-ready blueprint. And look, this isn't about writing more documentation. Nobody wants that. It's about structuring what we already have with a brand new audience in mind, machines. And that really brings us to the main event. This quote right here is the whole point of this explainer. For years, we've been writing docs for our coworkers, but to really get the most out of AI, we have to start structuring that exact same information for machines too. We're writing for a dual audience now, and that simple fact changes absolutely everything. Okay, so that sounds great in theory, but, what does that actually look like? How do we do it? Well, it's not nearly as complicated as it sounds. It really just boils down to a simple, actionable framework, the 3 pillars of structure. This is your guide to building a knowledge base that an AI can actually understand and use. So what are they? The 3 pillars are, number 1, strategic folders, number 2, granular tags, and number 3, actionable summaries. Each one of these plays a really specific role, but they all work together to give your AI the context and the connections it needs to be that brilliant teammate. So let's break them down one by one. First up, pillar 1, folders. Look, we all use folders, but we're probably using them wrong for an AI. The secret word here is stability. You've got to stop organizing documents by temporary project names like Q4 website refresh. A year from now, an AI has no clue what that was. Instead, you need to use stable, long-term ideas. Organized by the name of microservice, a specific team, or a core business process. This gives the AI a reliable map of your world that doesn't change every 3 months. Okay, pillar 2, tags. Now, folders are the map. Tags are like the roads and highways that connect everything. They create this incredible web of relationships. So a doc about a production outage might live in the authentication service folder, sure. But you should also tag it with things like #outage, #database, and #Q3. Now, all of a sudden, the AI can see how this one incident is related to other outages, other database problems, and everything else that happened that quarter. It starts making connections that even we might have missed. And last, but I promise you, this is the most important one, summaries. You have to think of the summary as the front door for the AI. It's the very first thing it's going to read. Before it even tries to parse a 20-page document or a giant log file, it's going to read this one little paragraph at the top. This summary has to quickly explain what the document is, what the key takeaway is, and what the final result was. A good, clear summary is the single most important thing you can do to make your docs AI ready, period. So we've got our 3 pillars, folders, tags, and summaries. But what does this really look like day to day? Let's do a quick before and after so you can see the night and day difference this structure makes. Okay, check this out, a tale of 2 documents. On the left, we have the before. And what's kind of scary is how normal this looks, right? The title is just prod issue notes. No summary, no tags, just a wall of raw log data. It's totally useless to an AI. But now, look at the after version on the right. The title is super specific, Q3 prod outage off service. It's got that perfect 1-paragraph summary right at the top. It's got clear tags connecting it to other ideas. And the content itself is a useful analysis. I mean, it's a rhetorical question, obviously. The difference is just, it's huge.
The one on the left is just noise. The one on the right is a structured piece of knowledge. One is a dead end for an AI, and the other is a gold mine of information that it can use to answer really tough questions for you.
And this, right here, this is the payoff. This is why you do the work. When you ask your AI, hey, what caused that auth service outage last quarter? You don't just get a link to some messy document you have to read yourself. No, you get a direct, clear answer synthesized from that well-structured doc. It tells you the cause and then gives you the link if you want to go deeper. This is the future right here. So let's just zoom out for a minute, because this is about so much more than just finding documents faster. This is really about building your next great teammate, an AI teammate, and totally changing how your whole organization works and learns.
And this is the really big idea to take away. Your documentation stops being a passive archive. It's no longer a dusty library of things that happened a long time ago. When you structure it correctly, it becomes an active, living data set. It's the curriculum that you're using to train your organization's collective brain, which is embodied by your AI. Every single well-structured doc you create makes the entire system smarter.
So I'll just leave you with this one last thought. The AI tools are here. They're ready to learn, and they're ready to become that expert on your team who knows the answer to every question you've ever written down. So the only real question left is your documentation ready to be its teacher?